on the NBA and finances.
I don't think so. I think it's like the NFL, where like you just like Russell Wilson's getting paid from the Broncos, and he's going to get paid from the Steelers. I think that's how it works.
Damn, it must be nice. Should look that up. 888-957-9570. If I ask Warrior fans right now if you had a choice with Jonathan Kuminga, because I think he's a key figure here moving forward. What's going to happen with JK? If I ask a Warrior fan right now, 888-957-9570, would you trade Jonathan Kuminga or extend Jonathan Kuminga? And extending him is going to cost you about $30 million a year, which I believe is a bargain, but $30 million is $30 million. It's a lot of money. What would you do if you're a Warrior fan? What would you do, Shasky? Would you extend Jonathan Kuminga or would you trade him?
Do you know how many guys made $30 million this year?
I'm guessing a lot.
Over $30 million, there were 46 guys that made that this year. Now, we could look at a lot of them and be like Kyle Lowry and, C.J. McCollum. And like there's ones on there that don't make a lot of sense. $30 million is Domantas Sabonis. Just to give you an example, right?
Empty calories. Well, shoulder.
Chris Paul is $30 million. If they guarantee it. Drew Holiday. Next year, projected, as of right now, there are 44 guys in the league projected to make $30 million or more. So I guess the calculation that the Warriors need to do is, do they see Jonathan Kuminga at some point in year 1 or 2 of that contract being a top 45 player in the NBA? Meaning, is he your second best player? Can he be your second best player, hypothetically?
Well, Draymond, according to him last season, JK was for a large stretch of the season.
Okay, now the question becomes, paying him to be your second best player, how good are you? What are you projecting? What's the leap forward? Would I do it? I probably would give him over $30 million a year. And I would be very, very worried, not about the guy, stepping out of line or any of that, just because the league is hard. The league is very hard. And as you become, let's just say in this scenario, they don't acquire Paul George, right? Going from a guy that's the 4th option or the 5th option or whatever to every single night, you're the number 2 option on a team and you're the guy that they're circling outside of Steph Curry.
Yep.
There's going to be a growth. There's going to be a lot of stubbing of the toes. I wouldn't feel good about it, but I probably would give him the money. I probably would.
Now on this roster, you have TJD, and as of now, Looney's on the roster still. Draymond, TJD, Looney. And Steve Kerr's on record saying basically that JK right now is a 4. He doesn't see him as a 3. So if he's just a 4, working under that assumption, and he's just a 4, where's the minutes going to come? Because you're not going to play Draymond Green at small ball 5 for heavy minutes. Not going to do that. They're trying to get off of that, which is why TJD entered the starting lineup, right? To get Draymond Green off of that small ball 5 and let him roam around as a power forward. So if JK's not a 3, and they're going to clog the paint, is it worth extending him? And then if you do make a big boy move for Paul George, could he fit with Paul George? Hell, Wiggins may be a better fit alongside Paul George than Jonathan Kuminga. I know we're so down on Wiggins around these parts, but that may be the truth. So do you extend him? I would probably extend him too. Now, my worries are a little different. It's not so much that can he produce and can he produce at a high level. I still think he'll get his numbers, but will it translate to winning, and what does it look around him moving forward? And then you have the veterans here. So is Steph Curry going to defer a little bit as you get older? Is other guys going to defer a little bit to JK? I don't know. I don't know how it looks, but I'd probably extend him too because he's my most athletic player, and he's 6'8", he's physical, and he gives me something that I need that all these other teams have. Like the Suns draft Ryan Dunn yesterday. That's division, right? Defender. We see Jaden McDaniels up there in Minnesota and all their guys. It's all around the league. Guys you need point of attack wing defenders. But is JK there yet? Is he there yet? Slater said it yesterday, man. When he's engaged in one-on-one matchups, he's really, really good. But KD stay engaged. I do believe he's getting older and maturing, and he wants to be great. That's the one thing about JK I think we underestimate. He wants to be great.
Yeah, but
he wants the pressure.
Does he have the ability to increase the half-court IQ on both ends of the floor to learn consistently how to play winning basketball? And utilizing the clear skill set that he has on truly impacting the game on both ends of the floor more consistently.
Yeah, he has to do it more consistently. We saw a glimpse of it last season and look good. Now, Ion on YouTube spent $5. He said he's absolutely not a 3. He's a 4. Keep Wiggins and trade Kuminga. Let's go to Lucky in San Francisco. What would he do with Jonathan Kuminga? Would you extend him or would you trade him?
Top of the morning, fellas. Long time no here.
Long time no here, Lucky. How you doing, man?
I'm better now, Bonte, man. I've had my 6 months sobriety over football, man, so I'm good.
I'm still hurting from that Super Bowl.
Oh, man. Hey, you know training camp's right around the corner. We got to buckle up for another long journey, buddy.
I know, man. I know. I'm ready, man. Let's get it. All now, as far as JK, man, I would extend him, but I wouldn't extend him for that price. I'd probably give him like maybe 15 or 20 million because we still need some more assets. And I still, myself, man, I know you guys are saying you guys want to get rid of Clay or Clay needs to go or he wants to go. I think Clay needs to come back, man. We need to retire the big 3 and add some good, nice pieces and go get a ring or 2, man. I'm ready for it. Let's go.
You know what, Lucky? I don't necessarily want to move on from Clay. I'm just speaking that it just feels like both sides need a fresh start. You know me, I'm a Clay apologist. Right. I don't think you could replace that shooting. He still gets guarded as if he's the Klay Thompson from 2019. They still guard him like that. Other teams still fear his shooting. But it just feels like it's time to move on from both parties. That's all.
Well, can I ask you a question, though, Bonte?
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
What if, since Clay has had these bad 2 years, what if he come back this year and goes back to the Clay that we know somewhat?
Well, Lucky, I don't believe he's had 2 bad years. I don't know how you could have bad years when you lead the league in made threes to shoot 41% from 3, and then you come back and get asked to come off the bench and you still average 19 a game. I'm not under the assumption he had 2 bad years. I still think he's a very serviceable NBA player, but he needs the right assets around him. He's not the same guy. He's not the same defender. He's not the same guy. So I do agree that if you had the right assets around him, sure, I'm here for that. But it sounds like with that ship is sailed.
I hope not, but you know what I'm saying? We'll see what goes on in the next few days, man. You guys have a good one.
You too, Lucky. Good to hear from you, man. 888-957-9570. Warrior fans, if you have the option, because the decision's what, October 31st with Jonathan Kuminga?
Approximately.
Yeah, around that time, right when the season starts. If you had a choice right now, and the Warriors are going to have to face this choice very, very soon, to extend Jonathan Kuminga and what he's going to cost and pull up the numbers or what the contract could look like for JK and what he's eligible for, or would you trade him to try to go get a big boy, to try to maximize his window? Is now the time to trade JK, or do you extend him with the look at the future and banking on him becoming an impact player in this league? 888-957-9570 is the number. Now, Bob Myers was on yesterday on First Take. He was on all the shows. He was on the drive shows.
He looked so annoyed with Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, I mean.
Was I the only one who interpreted that way?
I just don't get why Stephen A. Smith's on the draft coverage. How much college basketball is Stephen A. watching? I mean, like,
we're just overexposing him, but continue.
Yeah, well, he wants $25 million a year from ESPN apparently. So
I mean, Jesus, if he makes more than Klay Thompson next year, makes 18, how funny will that be?
He makes $18 million a year right now.
Does he?
Yeah,
$18 million.
Yeah, right? Spinelli makes like $18 million a year.
Something around that.
God,
he's worth every penny. By the way, if they give him 25, I still think. Which is sad. Which indictment on our society, how we consume that stuff.
How has his contract year been?
I mean, it's been all over the place. He's been all over the place. He's talking about all the draft stuff and you trade, but he's on the draft covers. Like, well, why is he on the draft cover? Anyway.
Does he have the biggest ego in all the world right now?
His ego has grown tremendously. Like,
tremendous ego. A lot of ego.
The greatest ego.
The greatest ego. I need him to moderate tonight's debate. That's what I need.
Oh, he'll have a tweet about it.
Oh, sure 1,000%. He wants to get into politics. Continue, Bonte.
He'll be on with Hannity.
Not done. It's just Hannity. These guys are unbelievable. You talk about ego. The guys with the biggest ego in the world is going to have a debate tonight.
You better be careful.
With his egos. But anyway, Bob